Oh, Robin, I guess we go back quite a way. I was fortunate enough, my young fellow played with Robin every second year. Me and Colin got together, his father got together as part of the coaching in softball and hockey, both sports. So from a young age, Rob had all the skills, had all the desires, worked hard. Everything he was at, he worked hard at it to make sure that he was the best he could be.
He came out for a couple of skates with us when his older brother was on the team. And then we followed him in the Bantam League. We watched him in the Bantam League, and it was, there was no question I wanted him on my team. He's just a 200-foot guy, character kid, and that's the heart and soul of our team. Sometimes you'd wonder if there was a puck on the ice, because he certainly, when he had a sniff for somebody, that guy was going to get taken out. There was no question about that. He never missed a check, never missed an assignment. And he was usually given a tough assignment, the top players on the other team. And when we got to the Nationals, we saw some very, very talented players that some have gone on to play pro hockey, and they did a masterful job.
I coached Canada Games in 1989 with Tom Doucette. Along about 91, Tom came to me and he said that he thought he found our next catcher. And yes, he certainly had found our catcher. That was the first context that I had with Robin Eisner. And then, of course, when we had the tryouts and so on, he was hands down the best catcher that we could find.
It would have been early 90s. I was playing ball, of course, with Windsor Legion, and Robin was playing ball with the Canada Games team. He was a little firecracker catcher that I remember never wore a chest protector, so we always thought that was a little crazy, in fact, but that's when I remember him the most, was that little tenacity of catching a ball off his chest, picking it up, throwing it back to the pitcher, and not giving a hoot about what happened to him there.
Robin was a superior athlete, of course, but he was also a superior in character and in leadership abilities. He was not a talkative leader. He led by example, both on and off the field. And if he said something, you listened.
He was a young man of few words, but he was very dry when he did talk, extremely funny and very dry, but I'll tell you, he had the respect of everybody in that dressing room. And when he said things weren't going the way that should be going, he was the first guy to point the finger at himself and the first guy out the door to change the way he was going to play and drag everybody else with him. Let's go.
Robin was our leader on the field. He was like having the third coach. He was the guy out there doing the things that a coach would do, but he was doing it right from the field. And every player on the team respected what he had to say and what he did.
Canada Games, we were in BC, and I think it was the Ontario game. You know, we were struggling. We only had single life, and anyway, Rob came up with a triple, and we ended up beating Ontario 3-2 and moved on to up against Saskatchewan in the gold medal game. He was always the little guy that he always slayed the big guy. He always come through for us, like time and time again. So yeah.
So the scene is set now for the grand final of the World Youth Softball Series here in Auckland. The weather, as you can tell, has remained fine. There's the pitcher for the Canadians, Rob ISENOR, another left-hander, facing up to Mark here. Goes for the nice little bunt, but the pickup is made. And it's, well, you see the error made there. There's a good hit. It looks to be safe. Yes, it is. And they might bring home two runners. Yes, ISENOR crosses over. There's Gardner going through home now. They're the first runs. That's ISENOR scampering home there. He'd been hanging around on second base. He goes across. There's the first of the runners.
Great catching there by the Canadian catcher, Rob ISENOR. The ball was up high in the strike zone, right over the top of Horiella's head, and he managed to get up and glove it, prevented the tying run from scoring.
You know, back in the heyday of ball, when the Keiths and the Jaguars and Dairy Queen and all of those teams, there were a lot of fast players. Robin's percentage was probably over 95% of throwing those guys out. He could snap a ball like I've never seen anybody snap a ball. And it would all be, you know, from his catching position. there weren't too many guys that would take giant leadoffs either, because he would throw the ball down to first or third and get those guys picked off as well.
Anything he wanted to do, he could accomplish. I mean, Robin was one of those players that very smooth, very confident. Everything he did, like but he worked hard at doing that too. Like that was the key there, Robin. He worked at it. His brother Ryan, there, whatever they were at, they worked at it home. Had a great leader at home. His father, Colin, was Narda was. They were great people too, and then that's where he got lots of his learning from his parents, and Ryan was a big help at home whenever they were doing something. The two of them worked at it hard to make sure they were the best that they could be, right? So.
We're going into extra innings here in the final of this 1993 World Junior Softball Championship. Oh, there's a huge hit there by Newson, turning around and picking it up on the outfield. The throw comes in, but it's not good enough. That's it. The man getting home was Chris Gillis from that huge hit to left outfield by Shane Newson, and Canada have won the title. The Jibboard Youth Softball title goes the way of the Canadians, beating New Zealand in the 8th innings by 4-3. The top Canadians, the top New Zealanders, they shake hands to signal the end of the World Youth Softball Series here in Auckland. But those men, the men in the red caps, the Canadians, are the champions for 1993.
Robin's he truly is a community leader. Has put back in the community everything he got out of it. He's back into it full bore.
This guy is, a leader of our community, leader of the fast pitch world, and he's also running an entire school of elementary kids. That says a lot about a guy that he can put all that time in and still maintain good relationship with his kids, which I know that he does have, and his wife. And I don't think there's anything that guy wouldn't do for you.
I can't imagine anyone more deserving to be in the Hall of Fame. He's not only a great athlete, but he's a great leader. His character is above reproach.
It was just a pleasure being around the ISENOR family, from Dad to his older brother Ryan, and Robin. They were just all character people. Never complained about anything. They just came and put their work boots on and did the best they could every night out. They may not have been the most talented guys, but boy, they left it all on the field, and they were there for their teammates, and it was just a pleasure to be involved with that family.
He's very deserving of it, and and I thought he should have been in earlier, but I understand the committee couldn't put him in earlier because he was still, the resume was still growing, and he likely still have a few things to add to it, but anyway, no, he's very deserving of it, yeah.
For Robin to win a world championship, to put all the time he does into fast pitch in East Hants, to put all the time he does into minor hockey in East Hants, into the community, he is well deserving of being inducted into the Hall of Fame, there's no question.
Robin caught the World Championship game in New Zealand, and to me, he caught the best pitchers that Canada had to offer, and he caught in the most important game that team played that year, and they won the World Championship. To me, that says it all.
2018 East Hants Sport Hall of Fame inductee, Robin ISENOR.